Okay, it's 6 o'clock. I'd like to welcome all of you to the pre-council meeting for the city of Satsuma. So we appreciate all of you attending tonight. I know this weather in the last few days has been quite challenging with these afternoon thunderstorms are blowing up. So I figured it would, the way it was raining a couple hours ago, we'd be lucky to have anybody here. So we do appreciate each of you coming. We're going to run through the agenda pretty quick here. We have a short agenda, and hopefully we can have a smooth and productive meeting. So with that being said, we'll jump right into our business. We'll go call to order tonight. Have you heard from Mr. Butler? Well, we got too far, I wanted to make sure. Sorry to hear he's under the weather. We'll have the call to order. Second thing, as always, we'll go to invocation. We'd been going down the line. I think Mr. Skelton did it the last meeting. Ms. Reese, you up for the invocation and pledge tonight? Okay. Thank you. We'll have roll call. Looks like Mr. Butler's out. Sergeant Wilcutt's out tonight. He and the lieutenant are both attending the chief's conference. They won't be around. Heather emailed the minutes from our last meeting to everyone on Friday. Have y'all had a chance to look over the minutes from the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Do you have any corrections and or additions? Or okay. You make a motion to approve minutes as distributed?
Yes, I will.
I second him on that.
Thank you. Mr. Little will make a motion, second by Mr. Skelton. I don't know of any recognitions we have tonight, so we'll move past that. We have no visitors listed on the agenda tonight.
Mayor, Mr. Byers, I believe, might want to speak.
Okay. All right.
I had spoke with him earlier today, and a little late notice, but I told him I thought we'd give him a few minutes.
Sure, you want to go ahead and address it? We probably, from what Mr. Little said, can handle this at pre-council. So please, Mr. Byers, we always ask that they come up, give your name and your address, and tell us what the issue is.
All right, my name's Wayne Byers. I live at 6101 Harrison Drive. And before I start on that, I'd like to commend the city for your trash pickup and your garbage pickup. And I just ask y'all don't ever be like the city below us are, because they got a lot of unsatisfied people down there. But one of the issues I have is speeding on Harrison Drive. And I'm here to tell you that, you know, it's a wonder somebody ain't got killed. You know, I mean, it's in the mornings when people late going to work. It's in the evenings when they want to get home. And I've always seen one animal, a pet, get run over, and people just kept on going. So I think that needs to be approved. But my main is I have a neighbor that lives next door to me. And I know when COVID hit, he hit on hard times because he had a limousine service, and it put him out of work. It like devastated him. And I was, you know, I took food over there to him and everything else. And then right after that, we had that storm last summer, and it tore his fence down. And I told him I would supply the fence on my, you know, for my part up there if he would get his two kids. And of course that never happened. So I hired to have it put up. And the reason I hired, because around his yard, if that was my air conditioner outside condensing unit, and that grass is that high, I'd done burn up 3 units by now. But his keep on going. But it's he's got an abandoned car back there, and the neighbor on the other side of him is complaining too. But you know, and it's an eyesore, and there's no reason for that gentleman to have a yard like that with, you know, we got 2 grown kids, and and something needs to be addressed. Because, I mean, not only drives my property value down, but it drives other folks around that neighborhood property value down too, so. And I appreciate it, you know, if y'all could, and this is not the first time, you know, and I realize y'all out of an inspector now, but,
Well, we've turned those type issues over to the police department for them to take that now. And whenever you finish tonight, I was going to make sure the police department notes the,
all right,
your issue there. Did you copy the address? Please make sure they forward that with either a letter and, so give us a chance to see if the property owner will respond to our request to try to,
all right, I will. But I've called about this before, and then, you know, I was told they'd give them notice, and they had 30 days. If they didn't, they'd get a citation. Then if they didn't do a citation, they'd have to come to court, but, I mean, it's still there, so. But I appreciate anything y'all could do, and
all right,
another
Mr. Byers.
paper in the neighborhood would, so.
Well, referring to the speeders, I know the police department has issued several citations here in the last couple of weeks in the Vons area. So, and they've made several more traffic stops with warnings given, so we will make sure that they are aware of the complaints and that try to make a little more aggressive patrol in that area.
I was young once myself, but that's no excuse for if I run over a kid.
No.
If too many kids running up down through there, that's what I worry about.
Yes,
So I
sir.
appreciate the time.
Okay, Mr.
Thank you.
Byers. Thank you for coming up. Well, anyone else going to come before the council tonight to say anything? So Jack, Miss Judy, nothing? Goodness, that's unusual for us to go without that, so. Okay, just from a mayor's report, I would, we'll go through the agenda tonight. We're going to ask everyone to please turn or silence their phones before the meeting gets started tonight so it won't interfere with the meeting. We have had some deaths in our community in the last couple of weeks. I think most of you know Valinda Lankford. She lost her father, Mr. Mills. Also, Mr. Joe Pledger, who was a longtime resident of Satsuma, passed away. Very sad for him. And Paul Schuler, I don't think anybody that had been around here doesn't know Paul. Many years of being involved here, graduated from school, lived over in Stevens Acres with all his family, and he was really involved with the plays at the Women's Club and everything that they had got started years ago. So his services for tomorrow is out tonight. So if you see any of their families, please give condolences. And that was, what was his name? Okay. Okay, let's add that, Kevin Yates, to that. I had heard he had been sick. I was unaware of his passing, so very sorry to hear that, so. We did have the retirement where we gave the proclamations that we passed probably a month and a half ago for the two retirees at South Alabama Regional Planning. That went over very nice. I did see Monica there. She said that the news ain't so bad on the van that they do have some hopes of getting that back going. So hopefully we will see some movement on replacing our seniors van. Seems like every meeting we discuss signs more and more. Travis, have you been able to confirm that the signs that we have ordered for Juniper, they told us would be shipped this week? So,
That's what they said, but I haven't seen anything show up. This is the email prior to that. It says, I got got with the production and they told me that we're waiting for some hardware to come in. The signs order is estimated to be shipped on 7/25/22. So we still haven't seen it.
So we have them call about once a week and try to find out where they're at. So hopefully we can get those in, but that's the first time they'd given us a date for shipping, so. Also, Mr. Paul Henderson regarding the signs that we had discussed, I called him late last week. He said he had been out of town again, and he said he'd get with me the first part of the week, but I have not heard from him as of tonight.
He emailed over the one that Ms. Reese wanted changed to say the Bark Park instead of Bark Park. He emailed that over yesterday, and I've got all that printed to get with you on, to make sure it's a complete set now.
Yeah, well, I was unaware we had that. And on the topic of signs, Tiffany at the library has been wanting a lighted sign, an information sign, to go out front. I think one from in front of the city would look nice, something that we could advertise events going on in our city, whether it be the council meeting nights, planning board, whatever board's going on. The library could post their programs, book signings, or whatever they may have going. There's not room for two out there. So Tiffany has suggested that we consider going in with the library to have a sign out front that both could share information on, rather than both of us paying for a sign. And, you know, we're looking around the $20,000 mark is what the preliminary, just looking at what they think may work. I think she had Tom to look at a couple things with her and do some research. So if y'all have any questions, I told her I'd bring it to the council tonight just to see their thoughts on the possibility of working with them to, you know, maybe get something. So with that being said, do y'all think it's worth us pursuing, finding out what we could put out there that might be informational, you know, something that would be aesthetically nice to complement both buildings here?
What budget is that gonna come out of?
Well, I'm sure we can find the money out of one of the funds, or we can budget for it, since we should be preparing for our next year's budget now. So, and I mean, we're just gonna get in that later on, but I mean, we can talk now. I mean, we're in August now, so that's, you know, the days of starting to look into meetings for the budget should be getting close, I would think.
Is that
So,
what Tom had on his desk? You
Pardon?
already have one picked out?
no, I just told you, I haven't picked out anything. I mean,
Oh, well, he showed
I
me
said
one.
Tom had worked with Tiffany to look into getting a ballpark price.
Oh, I think
on
don't
something
you already
that's-
have the packet together?
We've gotten some estimates on them, yeah. We've worked out with a couple of people what size would fit in an existing brick structure. And the signs are like 16,000 for two 66-inch by 40-inch signs. We would have to do the installation, which is not very difficult. They're basically TV sets that are waterproof. But we checked around, that was the cheapest price we could find. And the company that does that gave us a list of 60 or 70 locations in the city of Mobile that we can go look at it. We wanted to check out theirs. So it's just a matter of, if you want to purchase them.
Well, it would be something I think she was going to get the foundation for, to see if they would entertain paying for half. So before we went into anything firm, I was trying to get it past just a talking point. I wanted to see if there was any objection to looking at that. So,
Did you say 16,000 for two signs?
Each sign's $6,400. Of course, there's no tax on them, it's free shipping. And the only installation we have to provide, a power supply, and they work off of wireless.
But was we talking about, is that one for the city and one for the library, or?
One that's up to
Dual side.
Oh, dual, okay, so, but actually just one sign,
It's two back to back.
yeah,
One location.
yeah, yeah. I'm fine with looking into that. That's,
Okay. In our packets tonight, I think we have your city, the calendar of our known meetings that are coming up for the city this month. So if anybody has any more or meetings that they would like to add to that, please review it. Get it to Trish so she can add it to the calendar. And let me, it's on here, it's listed on here, but give everybody a reminder, there is a Board of Adjustments meeting this Thursday night and a planning board, which is set for 8/4. I think the Board of Adjustments starts at 5:30. Planning board will be 6:30. Ms. Reese, would you want to discuss the tennis courts, completion of that? I think they finished up over the weekend.
Yeah, I shared it on Facebook. They are finished and open for business. Not business. If you have a tennis business, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll mention it in the regular meeting.
All right. And Travis and the guys in Public Works have also been working on the old basketball goals that we had, the facility there at Magnolia Park, and we're hoping that by the next council meeting, we'll have a little repair done on those courts there, so that should be finished.
I would have liked
Thank
to have
you.
looked at that with them. I didn't know they were moving forward with that project. It would have been good to have some input from some others. But
On repairing basketball goals?
you're right, just do whatever.
All right. We mentioned the budget a little earlier. What are y'all's thoughts on setting a workshop to discuss the budget? Heather got some information together for you through the end of June, said she thought she would have July by next week.
Me, if y'all don't mind, let me play with this a little bit and then try to look at next meeting, setting a work session.
Okay. Did you want us to do studying or look over that? Because it looks like if you want to make the budget come in a little better, we might amend it before the end of the year in a couple of areas. But we can do it later on. It's not anything pressing. Sure. Tom, did we have any luck on getting Roe sign off on the engineering for the 3rd Street project?
Coming out Thursday morning, the meeting, go over that. I also left a message with, the lady that requested that, sent her an email, told her what we were up to. I printed out the maps and forwarded it to her and to Don Rowe, but he said he ought to be able to give us a letter on that.
Okay, that'd be good, because I do think our deadline is quickly approaching on that, so.
I told her we were shorthanded. She seemed fine.
Okay, at the last council meeting, we had requests for the street sweeper, and we did get that in, and the street sweeper worked on the, I believe that was the 23rd and 24th. So, Mr. Phillips, you want to discuss that with the sidearm and the road grader for that weekend that they
Sure.
had in?
Yeah, you want, now you want me
No,
waiting?
that'd be fine tonight, but that was a good job. They got a lot done that, when they got the equipment to do it with, that's for sure. We have the street paving project from the Civil Southeast being the Maple, Pine, and Dogwood. I understand that bid opening is now going to be set for later this month on August the 31st. So hopefully we'll get some good bids in on those. And just so y'all can make sure you're aware. And Need to add that to our calendar also. In the packet tonight, we have another request for annexation over in the Boyd's Lane area. We also have on our list tonight discussion for the Call News. They called after our last council meeting wanting to know if we were interested in the purchase and ad for the football program. I told them I'm sure that the council would, but I'd bring it up tonight on what ad they'd like to get. I think there's some information in your packet, if y'all want to look over that.
He only sent that one, choice that's $5.99 for a half-page ad for color, but, he was gonna send some more and hasn't. They were gonna give us like a quarter-page ad or different choices, but that's all we got so far.
Okay?
I just hate to spend $600 on an ad and it not go towards the program, football, personally.
Say that, I'm sorry, say that again?
I just hate to spend this much with the Call News and it not go towards our football program, supporting the program.
Direct donation.
Right,
Yeah, I'm with you.
direct that with the school. I don't mind doing one, but I think,
Have we been doing that much?
Last year, that's the one that they went ahead and printed without council's approval. And so they gave us the discount on it last year. They didn't realize. But years in the past, I think I've done quarter-page.
Quarter
ads.
page.
In black and white, I think.
I would maybe like to do a smaller one for the Call News, but then if we want to do that much more, then do something else, you know, but,
But we just don't have those quotes.
yeah.
Well, I would think we should do similar to what our other cities with their school system would do. I know we discussed that in the budget last year, so, but if y'all have a problem with it, you know, I mean, I think whatever we can do to support the football program and the new coach over there, we should do.
I think they're getting the quarterback club back together over there, and you might be able to do an ad in their program or something.
Did they do the program last year? I don't think they
I
did.
don't think so.
That's what I'm thinking, they did not do it
If
last
they
year.
didn't have a quarterback club last year, but they're supposed to have one this year. And I think that's who does it.
They'll sell ads if they go have it, you know.
Well, if they have it, I'd say let's buy an ad in that too. I mean, you know what we can do.
Nobody's asked, but I'm all for doing that.
We have $4,600 left in the advertising expense budget. Based on what Heather was.
Yeah, I know in July y'all paid $800 to the band, so you gotta add that in there. But you still got a good bit left.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we can afford to do, you know, a nice ad for our football team. I'd like to support the new coach and the efforts to, maybe we can start back winning some games in the near future. That's all I have. Going on, Mr. Little in Public Services.
Mayor, I'll give that senior report on the regular meeting.
Okay.
Let's see. Travis, do we know, is there an update on the windows? Have they been fixed in the community center yet, or we still,
They're waiting on the order.
the order?
Special order windows, and it's like,
Okay, I didn't know if we had or not. Also, Sarah Land's continuing to, help us with inspections, graciously helping us a pretty good bit. And, want to thank them for that. And sanitation's running good, everything's running smoothly there.
Speaking of that Saraland, I mean, I would like to offer them something for the help they've given us for the last year in the inspections. They've done a good job.
I would agree to that. I mean, they do a lot in helping us. I know both cities work, together on different things, but that might be something we, should consider. I think that's all.
All right. Heather has said that Mr. Butler is under the weather, and the chief is out of town, so we'll have the police report for the next, I just got one email to me while we were sitting here at the table, so we haven't even looked at it or printed it off. Chief Waite, you, I think, brought the fire report in here. Let's see, here it is. Had 54 EMS-related calls, 21 fire, for a total of 75 calls that were answered last month. Appreciate you getting that in, Chief. Thanks. And I told the chief to get some prices together on some equipment he's needing, so we can discuss that when we do come together on the budget meeting. Mr. Skelton?
I don't have anything right now.
Ms. Reese?
I don't know if this is the time to say this or not. I have not prepared anything. But I feel like there's such a disconnect here at the city that I just sit here and I don't even know what to ask for or who to ask of or what direction we're going or what the people want or what we all want. And I just feel like there's like nickels and dimes flying out everywhere. And I'm looking through these books and we're not even on the same page at all of like what is to come about of the city. Like, I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want or what you want. I feel like we just come here and we just talk a little bit and then we just leave and meet 2 weeks later. It's, I don't feel like we're community driven in our meetings. And I know that, I guess I'm just a little upset because the dog park, I've been waiting for the bark park to come along for these people. And it's great that we're doing other stuff, but we're demoing things and we're painting things and we're not focused on the bark park. And I know, I guess in your mind, you would think that that's the whole park. Well, it's not really. I would like to see the wooden boards of the fence be replaced so I can go up there and paint them to make it decorative. But we're over there painting old basketball goals that probably just need to be replaced. Or let's have a vision that's bigger instead of just so small. And maybe get some lines painted on the court, or I don't know. I just feel like we need to work together, and it's just, y'all are doing stuff that I have no idea what's going on, and I am for making improvements, but if we could work together somehow, and I know that not having a parks supervisor is a huge gap. I mean, you have to have somebody in the parks, not just Public Works, that has to work together. These departments have to work together. If you don't have people heading up city departments, you're going to, you're just going to be working like day to day and not have a big picture in mind. And you want to talk about comparing ourselves to other cities. We aren't Saraland, but they just got their new sports people. They're getting their sports complex. They're getting all these parks people. And I think that's great. But let's get we haven't had one person in the park since, 5 years? I mean, could be longer. I've begged to have somebody. But I hear what people want, and that's what I'm here for. If I can't take what the people want and convey it to what the workers can do, what's the point of me being here? I don't know. You know?
So
And if
are you
decision-
saying that it was a bad idea to take wood down that they said was not safe to play on? Is
Well, now
that
people
true
are,
you're saying that?
Tom's saying people are complaining because they tore the playground down. Well, I don't think we should replace it right away when the goal, and maybe I'm crazy because I didn't even have a dog when this all came about. I was doing it for people who did have animals, and it was a feature that Satsuma would have been able to offer that no other surrounding communities have. Well, now we've been passed, and I'm not trying to keep up with anyone else, but this thing's been going on since like 2018. Let's work on a project and get to that as a community, as a group, and work hard on that, because there are so many things like the C&D field at Wright Park that Ms. Ludgood gave us money for that, yes, it was a weird time, but I don't know, I can't tell you where all the dollars went. I can't tell you, because I know she asked for reports and she didn't get the reports. But we are how many years away? And so originally it was $14,000 and now it's $29,000, because I just got this from Tom. And I know in the minutes it said that he was going to give them to me to review, and I was told y'all 2 weeks ago that I was going to give them to you guys so we could look at it together. Well, Heather prepared her part, but I can't tell y'all in 30 minutes where we're going to get $29,000 from.
Sounds like we need a master plan. There's no one for the city. If we need to sit down and draw out and have a master plan of projects, and that way you know where you're going, you know?
And I mean, just going through these bills, I reported a water leak that the football team told me about, and $1,000 for a water bill, and then here's another one for 500 and something more dollars.
I
Because
think they reduced that when we took it to them because there was a leak. Who did you report a leak to, and when did you report it? I mean, I don't know. The day they called me and said we had a leak, they had already fixed it.
I don't remember. Did I call Trish? I don't know, the football people told me about it. I think it was Thursday, and then Friday morning is when I called when City Hall opened. But if
you're trying
we're,
to say that we need to get a master plan of what projects we would like to go into next year that we can all agree on and then go forward, yes. I agree with that. Do you're talking about some of these projects have been going on for 5 years. I hadn't even been here 2 yet. And yes, when we got here, you'd gone through 2 hurricanes. We were still trying to clean up. There was damage. We had to put projects in front of other ones. That was not a fault of mine. Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, what are you trying to get at tonight? I mean,
I'm trying to say we're not working together towards a common goal. That we're doing things like Travis is doing something I don't even know he's doing, but he's not even in the Parks Department. He's Public Works, and he is busy, and I think we need someone else, another supervisor, because we did have a supervisor. We had another person that worked in the Parks Department, and they need to be the eyes of the parks. I mean, we have, Still Creek, we have the community center, we have Baldwin Square, we have Lions Park, we have Wright Park, we have the splash pad. We want to have Magnolia Park with the dog park. There are so many things that would be just under that umbrella that I really think that we need to get a supervisor in that position, and not just somebody that's doing like fix-it lists. So I'm just letting y'all know that I'm a little disappointed in the city lately. I don't know. I feel like we need to be doing more.
I feel like the city employees are doing a good job now.
That's not what I mean.
That's kind of what you said. Mr. Phillips?
How many people we put in?
I didn't say that the employees were doing a bad job, so don't put words in my mouth.
How many people we working in the parks during the week?
Roughly 5.
What are their tasks? Cutting the grass?
Cutting the grass, weeding, changing bulbs, fixing whatever's.
Nobody is to plan the big parks and recreation events. Nobody's the mastermind behind like what's happening. It's okay, you don't have to answer that question.
So far as
And I think Travis has someone go 7 days a week to check all the facilities around to make sure the bathrooms and all are good.
That's
the
not what
trash
I
cans are
mean. I
empty.
mean like a person that can help put on events for the city, right? Parks and recreation, have events, host events, have things. Like somebody that wants to do the pet parade, somebody that would be behind the scenes, somebody that would help coordinate with Christmas events, somebody that would do, like the We Love Satsuma, somebody that would go help with ballpark registrations and make sure that the liaison between the city and the park groups were there. Somebody that I could talk to if the park group said, hey, council member, can we do this? And then I go to the city person, and the city person talks with the mayor and the different department heads and tries to work something together, whatever it might be. Like with the whole fence deal also. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not opposed to us finding someone for the parks that could help and do just that. Do you have anybody in mind that that you would like to
I don't
recommend,
know.
or get somebody to go to the personnel board, and
No,
we'll
I
call
don't.
for a list?
We can call for a list, and maybe that person will be out there.
Look, let me add my 2 cents, please.
Sure.
We've got a 5-year plan. We
I've never seen it, Randy.
well, we've worked on it the past few years. It's there. We've got one.
I hadn't seen it in 2 years.
Different projects, different things that we're gonna do. But everyone sitting here at this council knows what the issue is. We don't have those people in those areas that we need. Now, we can argue about we doing this job or not doing that job, but I think we know why that those jobs are not getting done. And until we get those people in places to do those jobs, I mean, the ones that we do have that's working now is doing as much as they can. They're doing extra jobs, somebody else's jobs. And that's the issue. I think we all know that. But, to argue, we all know we need to do those things. Things run differently when we have people in those places. And we have ever how many X amount of employees more than what we got now. But, I mean, I could sit up here and complain about the inspector, I need more than a few employees. But until we get that, that's the issue.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%. I just feel like, as a city, if we're the leaders, we need to be thinking up here. Like my boss says, think at a 30,000-foot level. We don't need to be down here. We need to see how can we come together and make our community better and help our people, our employees, be able to do the job that they need to do.
Well, you can, but why cause this kind of controversy when you know that, we've got to have other things in place before we can get to thinking that way? We all think that way, but.
I'm not trying to cause any controversy. I'm just saying that, is this,
Go ahead.
I'm just saying that I feel like we need to do better for our city. We, not them, we.
Ms. Reese, I'm here every afternoon, and I get here every Saturday morning. If you want to meet and discuss what your plan is or how we can work together by coming back to the council, I will gladly do so. And the other thing, I don't know of us not trying to, any request that you've sent or anything you've mentioned, us doing. I mean, last council meeting, it's been a couple of weeks ago, you asked about a street sweeper. To my knowledge, that was only the second time in history we got a street sweeper come out here and work 2 days trying to, address the areas that you were talking about. So, I think we do try to respond to your request. And, I can go back, we can name project after project we have worked with you on to try and get something taken care of.
Okay.
Would you like to carry on, please, Mr. Phillips?
My turn?
Yes, sir.
I'll bring mine up to regular council meeting. just the normal stuff.
Okay, then I'll go backwards then. The fence, I didn't ask for that fence, yet you try to make it seem like that's the fence that I wanted. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We're not working together.
You know, we're talking about working together. The way we work together is this council get along. And that's something that's not happened since this election happened. I have not talked with you not one time outside of council meeting. And like I said, that's how you get along. You want to move forward is you work with people, talk with them, and share your ideas. We're not doing that. Only time I hear an idea is when I sit down right here.
Okay, items for discussion and/or consideration. Payment of the bills.
I hadn't seen them, so
Oh, yeah, here.
I can handle that later.
I'll second it.
it.
Jason's going to make the motion. Mr. Phillips or second. Okay, we've already covered this early on the lighted sign from the library, and I will tell them to go ahead and proceed so y'all can see what they're looking at.
Does that just mean print a copy and give it to us? Because they've already done it.
No, Ms. Reese, I told you the purpose tonight was, are y'all supportive of us doing it? Because we had not asked everybody's opinion up here from the council. So I thought I would openly ask that and give her time to go to the Library Foundation and see if they were willing to do their half. She has not given me an answer on that. Has she given you an answer? Because there hasn't, to my knowledge, been a foundation meeting since the discussion. Anything else regarding the sign? Or anything else you have? Okay, the call news ad, that's coming up tonight. We've already discussed it. Discussion and consideration of application of Zachary New to annex property on Boyd's Lane into the city.
I think they're on the back row.
Yeah, I know. I was going to ask them if they would like to come forward. Mr. New, would you like to come up in a pre-council? We have a couple of minutes. If you would, give us your name and your address and
Zach New, I live in Turnerville right now. We bought 10 acres at the end of Boyd's Lane, backs up to family land there on the school board line, or boundary line. So that's what we're trying to do, just annex it in. Have one big family back there. Parents has been back there 20 years, so we're gonna get back there kind of close, got kids, so get them in a good school zone.
the property connects. Yeah, I think you have it in some in the packet.
Received the application, all the paperwork, everything's in order.
So we can vote on it tonight.
Yes, sir, everything's there, y'all can vote on it, we just have to do a resolution at the
Okay.
next council. If
Great.
approved, yes. But you should have a copy of everything, and I have your original.
Okay. Yeah, she put a note on there for me.
Okay. I don't see a problem with it, Mr. New. With formal, we have to do it in our meeting. We can't do it in the pre-council and vote on it at that time. So we'll call it back up at the regular 7 o'clock meeting. I don't hear any opposition, but
Right.
so we'll take care of it then.
All right,
All
I
right, we
appreciate it.
appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Talking about later, 7 o'clock today.
Yeah, just, that's whenever we conduct, in the pre-meetings, when we can talk and bring up what we're going to do and go over it so that people have a chance to look at it or review anything they may have. I don't know if they've had a chance to see it. I think she's put the packet together with the information, so they may want to read over it.
Okay.
But we'll do that then,
Appreciate it.
okay? Okay, Mr. New. Due to the lawsuits there at the last thing, resolution ordinances, other business, was going to ask for an executive session so y'all, we could have a brief overview and y'all can see another lawsuit that has come up since our last council meeting. I don't think that one will take very long, so I think our executive session could probably be a 10-minute one or something. It was very short.
Can we amend that line as part of amending the agenda to include, name and character of employees? It shouldn't take a couple minutes, I guess.
Okay, we didn't amend the agenda, but Mr. Skelton has asked that we add to, I guess it would be, he's saying that make a B
No,
for executive session to make another.
okay, I guess we can make it be.
I mean, I'm sorry if I didn't
No,
misunderstand what you said.
No, we're just gonna say executive discussion to discuss litigations against the city and good name and character of employees. I guess we could do it as one line.
I have no problem with that.
We had skipped
Okay.
over the approval at the front, so that's, I didn't run back up there.
Okay. All right, well, that will be the final thing on the agenda tonight. Do y'all have anything else you know we need to bring up? All right. Well, let's adjourn our pre-council, and we'll reconvene in 15 minutes and go from there. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. We'd like to call the Satsuma City Council order for our regular council meeting for August the 2nd, 2022. If you would, please remember to silence your phones or anything so there won't be disruption to the meeting. We're going to momentarily stand and ask Ms. Reese to say the prayer. It will be followed by the pledge. So once we stand, please remove your hats and remain standing for the pledge. So if we would, y'all, let's please stand. Ms. Reese.
Let us pray. Father God, we come to you tonight, and we thank you for your many blessings. We ask that you be with those that are sick or hurt, or those that have lost loved ones. Wrap your arms tightly around them, Lord. Let them know that you'll never forsake them. We ask that you be with the first responders and those that put their lives on the line every day to protect us. We ask that you be with the children that will return to school in the next few weeks and keep them safe to and from school and while they're at school. Also be with the parents and give them strength to help their children grow upright. We ask them that they turn to you, Lord, and give their life to you. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Reese. Heather, if you would, please give us a roll call.
Councilmember Little,
Present.
Councilmember Butler, Councilmember Skelton.
Here.
Councilmember Reese.
Present.
Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
Mayor Barlow.
Here. Please let the record reflect that all the council members, with the exception of Mr. Butler, are here tonight. We also have the city clerk and the city attorney. Next thing on our list is the approval of the agenda. In the pre-council, I think there was an addition that Mr. Skelton has requested at the end of the executive session to discuss litigation against the city of Satsuma and the name and good character of an employee. Is there any other additions or corrections that we need to make to the minutes?
With
There are
that,
none.
with, second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little to approve the agenda. All those, any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Our last regular meeting was July the 19th, 2022. Y'all have had the minutes from the meeting. Is there any corrections and/or additions that need to be made to the minutes?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little, seconded by Mr. Skelton to approve the minutes as written. We have no recognitions tonight. We had one visitor to approach in a pre-council. Mr. Briers, I think we have noted your concern, and it will be addressed. So with that being said, Mr. New, I think you came in after we had gone past that portion of the pre-council. Just for the sake of time and letting them get out of here, if it's okay, under visitors, since he's here, y'all would like to go ahead and get him up, and I think they'll be able to get out of here. Mr. New, please come back up and state your name and address, and tonight for the record, and just go ahead and make your request, so it'll be on the record at the meeting.
Zach New, we live in Turnerville, 3506 CDC Road. We're requesting annexation of Boyd, or I don't even know what the address is. It's just a lot. It's a 10-acre parcel at the southeast corner of Boyd's Lane.
Southeast. Okay, I think for the record, we got to show that it's continuous or joining property that is already in the city. And so the property joins your father's,
Yes, it
which is all in the.
joins, yes, it joins the northern boundary line of the city limit zone.
Okay, so it would be running continuous. I know, Jay, you mentioned the requirements to make sure that we have everything legal as far as the,
I haven't
And it
seen
says-
the application, but there's several steps that, you know,
we need to look at in like until tonight, I didn't know we're doing that, but it's, we have to check that location, the deed, and then if there's any right of ways on it, we have to make sure that it's not going to interfere with that. And then, we also have to check when we change the building line, we have to report that. You don't have to do it in advance, but we have to report to the Department of Justice on the voting to make sure we're not. We can proceed without their okay ahead of time, but we do have to give them notice of that change.
Okay, proceeding with the annexation, and we certainly welcome you into the city, we'd like to see that area develop. I do think there may be some questions about the road being Boyd's Lane. To my knowledge, we haven't ever accepted anything or any portion of that for any type of maintenance before. And that goes back to the property. So,
It's just their property.
but I think that property goes down, doesn't it? And it divides, I guess y'all got like on the right, and Mr. Andrews is on the left if you go down to the end, is
Right.
that correct?
He's on the left and we're on the right side.
He's got the map, David.
But we've known for quite some time that Boyd's Lane is definitely going to be, as we get in that
So we'd need to
area.
bring in the road too, correct?
Well, I don't know that we can right now because it's, see, it's at the back of the road. That's what I'm saying. That's the reason I wanted to make sure that y'all understand that.
This is the I-65 service road, to the west of it. And then this would be, this would be your egress easement with your Alabama Power right-of-ways. And this would be the road here. So this would be, which this is just way off, this is on the very far end,
Okay, and where do you touch that Satsuma?
here. This whole boundary line.
That's your dad's property.
We've got 22 acres here that touches the interstate from the service road, and then we touch them at the corner of the interstate back to about halfway up.
And you say the application's in here, Heather? What section have you got?
Up under, discussion and consideration, should be the last item. I'm not sure what color tab. it is.
Should be right behind that ad there, Jay.
Right behind the ad.
The green tab, maybe?
Yeah, I see it.
I don't see anything in it that's deficient. Yeah,
Right, annexing the property, I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware when we did that, as more and more of that property comes in, I'm sure the road is going to become an issue over there because the
We've
road
already
is
had
needed.
another citizen come by, and we're waiting on them.
So they want to annex, they touch you and they want to annex. Is that what-
But I think there are several
What is
families
the-
down there that
what's
have
the
children
status
that
of
want
the
to
road?
go.
Is it in the county or is it?
It's a county, it's not a thoroughfare, there's no cul-de-sac at the end, it's just a private maintained dirt road right now. And it's got 5-acre lots on each side of it all the way to the end, and then there's two 10-acre pieces on the very back end.
Does the road have an easement through there?
It's got the power lines down the center, or down the
No, I'm
right
talking about
side
the
of
road
it.
itself, is that an easement,
It's a 50-foot easement.
dedicated easement?
There's a 50-foot dedicated easement that's shown here on this map.
Yes, it's on there.
And then who's, you said it's a private road, driveway, who's doing that?
The individuals that live on it,
It's kinda like
Couple
Oak-
of them
it's
got
kinda like
tractors that
kinda
will
like
go
Oak-
out.
Oak Avenue is, same setup.
I'm sure.
Now, this one, I mean, there's been no formal work. They go out with tractors and just make it passable.
Somebody was down there dumping, gravel, they had like 3 dump truck loads of gravel going down it about 2 weeks ago. But you couldn't turn a fire truck around on it.
That's always been our concern, is
Right.
trying to get down there if in fact we had a,
The few fires we've had down there, we've not been able to get our engines in there, we have to take a mini pumper in there. and
Right.
Shovel water, so that if
Mm-hmm.
it ain't, then it's definitely going to have to be some work done to it for us to be possible fire.
Right. Which I plan, because that's gonna be the route we're gonna send our builders. I've got a dozer, I plan on fixing that road, just so we can get the contractors in and out of it. So, I've got dump truck and dozers, so. I figure
nice
we'd
to
just
see the road
maintain it.
really improved, so.
Yeah, I figure we'd just maintain it, since it's a private road for now, get it fixed, get it straightened so it can drain. And then, which of course, we're still gonna have a family drive that ties into my parents that cuts through, makes a big circle. So,
All right, I think between the pre-council and here, questions have been asked.
The road issue, they can see what kind of, see what we can do with that, because you're not bringing the road in.
Right, and the other people are not, they don't have access to the back of the property like he does. So I'm just saying that is going to be something we need to look at, the road.
right.
Yeah, but I don't personally have a problem with annexation, if y'all.
Which in case of a fire, there would be access back there with that family driveway and all, so.
We will have to assign an address, so. I'll get with Paul.
I forgot to put this back in the, bill.
And once passed, the resolution will have to be passed next council. And because that resolution has to go to the different agencies along with the map. So we have to send out a lot of letters.
Paperwork.
Probably be helpful that you don't have it, is to get a copy of the map you showed me. It's a good map, just give it to.
You wanna take this back and get a copy of it?
Yeah, we can, almost kind of scared to make a copy of it since it was on front of them. What we can do with our machine.
I think if we think everything's in order,
I'm waiting.
I'd make a motion that we annex the, Zachary New property
I'll
on
second it.
Boyd's Lane.
Second.
Okay, on a motion made by Mr. Little, seconded by Mr. Phillips, to accept the property of Mr. New annexing into the city of Satsuma over in the, off of the I-65 service road near Boyd's Lane. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, like I said, we'll have to do some more work on our end, but we've got the process started, and hopefully y'all will be here, and welcome to the city.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we had a couple people come in after the meeting, so if anybody has anything to approach on, you're welcome to come up. But if no one's here, I think Ms. Judy said they may have some stuff for our next meeting, but nothing tonight, so you're unusually quiet there tonight too, Jack, so that's
Yeah.
good. Okay, well, we'll go into the mayor's report, and I think I basically covered everything that I said we would go over. Again, we expressed the sympathy to Belinda Langford on the passing of her father, Mr. Mills, also to Joe Pledger's family. Joe was a longtime resident here. I think his son still lives here. And then Paul Schuler, his wake is tonight, and I think his service is for tomorrow. Paul is quite well known here in our area. And also, we were informed of the passing of Mr. Kevin Yates. So sympathy for those families. I did say we attended a MPO meeting regarding some road projects last week. Also, the retirement that I told y'all about that we had for Kevin Harrison was held last week, where we did present the resolutions that we passed for he and Diane. Both of them were very appreciative and said they enjoyed the many years of working with our city. We discussed our signs and what's being done on that. We also discussed at the council about our working with the library about a city sign or a city and library joint sign, an informational sign out front, and we will be back at some point in the future on that. In our packet tonight, we had the city calendar where hopefully we can start keeping everybody aware of all of the meetings that we have and that are going on. So if y'all have any additions or requests of anything to be put on it, please let Trish know, and we can have that so everyone will be aware of what we have. And I think that is posted on the website too, is that correct?
I believe she sent it to us.
Yeah, they said it had been, so. Reminder, we do have a planning board and a board of adjustment meeting Thursday night, which is going to be the 4th, if any of you want to come. We discussed maybe at our next meeting, setting a workshop to go over the budget, maybe make amendments in the budget we have here, and also look at our next upcoming fiscal year, which is fastly approaching here in the next couple of months. So we have that. Tom informed us that the 3rd Street Drainage Project, he hopes to have an engineer to sign off on that this week. I think the letter that we had said that that's got to be done by the 15th. We brought up the county let us use the street sweeper, the road grader, and the, what we call it, referred to as the sidearm, and we got a tremendous amount of limbs cut over the last couple of weeks with the help of that. I don't know if any of you went out and looked at it while it worked, but I think it's amazing how fast it goes. I told you the bid opening is set for August the 31st on the street paving of the Park, Maple, and Dogwood. So I'm looking forward to that so we can see what the bid prices may come in at. Randy's got the senior report. The police department, Sergeant Wilcutt and the lieutenant both are out of town, and they forwarded the police report to us, but we were already here at the meeting tonight, so we'll have that and introduce it next month. Chief Waits from the fire department had his report tonight. We read it in the pre-council, showing that we responded here in Satsuma to 54 EMS calls and 21 fire-related calls for a total of 75 calls here in the city. Mutual aid is 11 responses. We've done the annexing of the property, and I believe that's the majority of the things that I had to come up tonight. Other than that, it's going to be addressed by council member or in discussion and consideration. That being said, Mr. Little.
Mayor, I mentioned earlier, sanitation department's running smoothly. I did want to mention again about Saraland continuing to help us in our inspection department. I want to thank them. Also, down at the community center, we got an update. We're still waiting on some windows to be replaced. We've got them ordered, just waiting on those to come in. Also, as you mentioned, the senior report, the Meals on Wheels program delivered 798 meals for the month of July. The senior transportation made 45 trips, different medical appointments and different things. And also, it's not normally included in this report, but they did report, I think maybe on the inside, some of the tables and the chairs they're talking about is in maybe need of bad repair. We might take a look at maybe seeing what we can do as far as how bad they are or if some of them need to be replaced. But we can look at that, but that was just mentioned. Also, I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Little. Moving from public services over to public safety was Mr. Butler. He is out tonight sick, so we hope he will get better soon and return to the next meeting. And I've already given the fire report, and we'll give the police report at the next meeting, so. Administration, Mr. Skip.
I don't have anything today.
Okay. Moving to parks, Ms. Reese.
Yes, sir. At the last meeting, we spoke about the construction of the C&D field restroom concession stand combo. And Tom gave me a quote that he put together. It's not really a quote in what you would traditionally expect, but I can make a copy of this for you guys. So instead of the $14,000 that we were looking at, it's now $29,000. And I know that we talked about, the big question is, where is the money going to come from? Because we did have $14,000 set aside in capital. So, if it could come out of the parks budget, the additional funding somewhere, I'm okay with it all coming out of parks. I know we I brought up maybe the possibility of using the money that was to repair the doors at City Hall. Since we haven't started on that, maybe we could push that off, just a few more months and then have that as being bumped up as our number one capital project. So I'd just like for you guys to consider that. But I can I guess, Heather, would it be best to make a copy and hand it out, or for the, do y'all need to see this? Do y'all want to see this is the pricing. This is what Tom gave me before the meeting.
Yeah, Ever, just make us a copy.
Okay, so maybe we can talk about that at the next meeting and then move forward from there, because I'm not sure how long these people will hold these prices, but I really think that this project needs to come to an end, or beginning and then end. But, you'll see it for yourself. Also, I talked with girls softball, and they've reached out to Explosive Signs with doing something at the entrance of Wright Park. I told them that we were already working with them on getting some city signage. So once they get that quote together, they're going to give it to me, and then I'll present it to you guys, because they're wanting to really. It's hard to see that entrance once you go past it. If you're going southbound, if you look back and see it, you've already passed it. And so they kind of want to, since we're doing great things with the tennis courts and we're hopefully going to be paving, and we just want everybody to know, hey, this is Wright Park. This is where we're playing. This is where we're going to have a good time. So anyways, that also, as I mentioned, tennis courts. So pickleball courts, tennis courts, they are ready to go. And we're excited about that. So excited, in fact, that I think maybe we'll have to get some more courts. But maybe it's just the newness. Anyways, try to get out there and play if you can. Also, softball and fall baseball will be starting soon, and football and cheerleading is already underway. You mentioned the street sweeper, and thank you. It looks good on Oak Avenue over there. And I guess just with all the rain, that rain just pushes the dirt down in the road, so I think it'll just be a process. But appreciate the rocks not being there anymore. That's really good. And I would like to mention the possibility of, do we want to entertain the idea of doing key students again? It's something I really liked. I liked seeing the kids here, the smiles on their faces. We stopped it because of COVID. Was wondering if you guys would be interested in bringing it back. And that's all I have.
Yes, I've voiced several times that I would think that if COVID continues to be, where it's controlled and they feel comfortable coming back, that I would be supportive of it.
Do we want to reach out to the school or school board?
Isn't there school lunching tomorrow?
I'm sorry.
I think we're invited to a lunch tomorrow, right? Breakfast, well, I was told. Well, I was told to be there around 10:30. So, that's a little after breakfast for me, but,
Brunch.
so, maybe we can mention it when we show up there tomorrow. Anything else, Ms. Reese?
No, sir.
Mr. Phillips?
Mayor,
Public
the
Works.
only things I had tonight was talk about the street sweeper, the side cutter, and the grader. You've already covered that, so I don't have nothing else.
We did mention that we was gonna bring to the council the swapping of those bush hogs, the one from the city. Was you gonna bring that up, the city and the water board?
Has it,
Yeah,
the
they-
water
they
board
did.
hadn't agreed to that yet, I don't think. You know, wasn't bringing it up.
Yeah, well, I think the employees all
I don't
got
see no
together.
reason you shouldn't. I'm just saying, I know it's in the process.
I think it's on our agenda for the, to make it formal Monday night for the water board. Steve said he was gonna bring it up. Y'all understand, we had a 5-foot at the city, and we got a much bigger tractor than the water board, and they had a 7-foot that he couldn't really pull. It was just too much. So we gave them our 5-foot, which is new, and they, 7-foot, which is a little older, but it's never been used. So, I mean, it just made good sense, because we were wanting a more heavy-duty big one. So we kind of swapped those between the departments, or told them that we thought it would be a good idea to do that. Mr. Phillips, you got anything else tonight?
Nothing, Mayor.
Okay. Items for discussion and/or consideration. First item, A, payment of the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $102,394.75.
Second.
Any discussion? On a motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Phillips to pay the bills in the amount of $102,394.75. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. B, discussion and consideration of purchasing a new lighted sign with the library. That was only for discussion. If it's okay, I will tell Tiffany that the council had no problem with that. So is that is consensus of all of us?
Well, that's just to pursue and get us
Right, yeah, that, the council will entertain working with them for half price if the foundation so chooses. Yeah, there's no purchase until they come back. I want to know exactly what it is.
How
And if you've got
much
all
and-
these signs that they've got, we can go look at. I'd like to go look at a couple of them, see exactly what they're talking about.
I put that on your desk during the break, what Tom and them have. That's the one I have.
Discussion and consideration of purchasing an ad with the call news for the football season.
Did they have different levels of sponsorship? Aren't we on the call news one? Call news? Yeah, we were gonna look at
Discussion
it.
and consideration.
They do have
C.
4K ads and all, we just don't have that price yet. I can get those. Hopefully I'll have it tomorrow.
I thought I saw somewhere that said $3.99 for a half page is $5.99, a quarter is like $3.99 or something. So,
I like this half-page color ad.
That's a copy of the half page there for $5.99.
I'm good with that, Mr. Phillips. I mean,
Nice looking ad, reason I say it looks good.
I would like to at least, see what we done last year, as far as comparing and the different ones at the prices.
Didn't you say we did a half page last year?
Yeah, but we only paid for a quarter page.
Yeah, but still, we did a half page, is what I'm saying.
They did a
Well-
half page for us.
We did a half page, right, but we only paid for the quarter page last year.
I should be able to have that tomorrow and can email it to you, I mean, if you wanna just look at it tomorrow.
I don't, for $200, we want to put it off and go that much trouble? I mean, I'd say let's go with half, like Mr. Phillips said. But if, if y'all choose not to, there's,
You want to make a motion?
you gonna,
Second it. I'll make a motion, we do the half page.
Second.
motion made by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Ms. Reese to place a half-page ad for $599. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed. We've already taken care of D, which was the discussion and consideration of application for Mr. Zachary New to annex property on Boyd's Lane into the city. So I am very happy to see us starting to annex some property into the city. I think that's a good positive move to go along with the number of houses we have that's been built and we have under construction. So maybe we can keep that momentum going. We passed that on a vote, so that was taken care of. We can scratch it. Our final item on the agenda tonight, unfortunately, is a resolution ordinances, orders, and other business, executive session to discuss a lawsuit against the city of Satsuma, and we've added on in the name and character of an employee. So we're going to go into executive session. All of you are welcome to stay, but all we intend to do is come out and adjourn the meeting at that time. The time is now 7:33. I said that we would need no more than 10 minutes, I wouldn't think, on the lawsuit. Mr. Skelton, how long do you think you'll need for your?
I'd say 5.
Instead of being short, let's go ahead and put 5 minutes on there, so we will be back in approximately 20 minutes, which will be approximately 7:55 PM. So I need somebody to make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Reese, that we go into executive session for the said reasons. Y'all excuse us for about 20 minutes, and we'll be back. So thank you for attending, or we'll see you. Okay, it is 8:02. We went just a couple of minutes over our time for the executive session, but we, I think, addressed the lawsuits that we have pending and also the other personnel issue. So if there's no other business to come before the council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made to adjourn,
Second.
seconded. All in